It is 38 degrees today. 38 degrees in London. You ever seen that rap? Where you're from? Pyongyang, North Korea? Didn't even get the heat there. Crazy. If I'm off my game today, it's not because of the heat, it's because I'm bad at my job. Welcome to YouTuber News, let's get cracking. Logan Paul did the strangest TV interview you ever did see. Shane Dawson revealed he's living with misophonia. Tana Mongeau had her nipple pierced, that's not news, but I will cover it. And of course it's the return of YouTuber Watch. Oh, look at this! All this, plus I'll rub the dust of a lamp I found in a cave in the desert, and presumably nothing will happen, and I'll stay a street urchin forever on this week's edition of YouTuber News. Hosted by me, Benedict Townsend, and brought to you by PopBuzz, the only website that's waterproof up to 500 meters. Our first story, Logan Paul did a bizarre TV interview where he called himself the fastest man on the planet, and it actually got weirder from there. Logan was appearing on Fox Business, which is a TV channel for foxes who are looking to do business. If you want to trade some rats or a shrew, you go on Fox Business. Logan Paul, of course, is not a fox, he's actually a human man. That's the kind of insight you get on this show. No, but seriously, Logan was obviously on Fox Business to... You know, he was there for... Look, there must have been a reason. They don't just put people on TV just to let them go wild. That would be so unusual. A quick selection of the things Logan said in his interview. He said he was the fastest YouTuber on the planet, then he said he was the fastest man on the planet, then he said he was a ghost, and then he said he was an ex-controversial YouTuber, and then for no reason at all, he said he had pink eye, something I will not explain on this, a family-friendly show. If I'm quite honest with you, I'm the fastest YouTuber. I'm the fastest entertainer on the planet. He then clarified, I could be the quickest man on the planet. I'm everywhere, baby! I'm everywhere and I'm nowhere. I'm like a ghost. Yeah, I'm betting $100,000 that I'm the fastest man on the planet. I'm the fastest man on the planet. That's not Logan, by the way, that's just me. That's just something I'm claiming right now. I'm the fastest man on the planet. And a way I can find out if I'm the fastest man on the planet is the fact that Logan is now holding a race. Since his interview, Logan has announced that he's going to be holding a race to find the fastest YouTuber on the planet, with the winner getting, you guessed it, big old smile and a kiss on the cheek. No, $100,000. So if you ever wanted to see YouTubers run, I cannot imagine why you would want to see that. Now you can. But it wasn't all bad news for Logan. He also spoke about his finances. He said, I will say, my expenses just surpassed my income for the first time ever. I just sat with my financial manager. He told me that I'm definitely going downhill from here. Oh, actually, that is bad news. That's even worse than the thing I said before, isn't it? Oh. But don't worry, he seemed cool about it. He said, I'm terrified. I think it's the beginning of the end. I'm uncomfortable with myself. I also have pink eye. Yeah, no, it's just getting worse. After the interview, Logan tweeted, today I told Fox Business News I had pink eye on live television, and now I'm blasting the Greatest Showman soundtrack on a flight back to LA. Basically, I'm almost in final form, so great to see that Logan is doing so well. Best of luck with his... I feel like I'm being very mean today. It just goes to show what I always say. The only people who should be going on Fox Business are foxes. The channel is for them. They need to talk about their nighttime activities. They need to talk about the best place to dig voles out of the ground. If you're a human being, you should not be on Fox News. This joke has been done. Let's move on. Our second story, a more serious story. Shane Dawson has spoken about his experiences with misophonia and how it's left him feeling isolated and anxious. Now, I'm not a medical professional or a therapist or an expert on anything really, apart from plastic rats, so I feel that I'm perfectly qualified to really delve into this condition. Please don't sue me. Shane tweeted, living with misophonia is really exhausting and can make you feel very isolated, but just know that you aren't alone. I didn't even know there was a term for it until this year, and now that I know it's not something I'm making up in my head, it's helped a bit. But what exactly is misophonia? Well, as you know, we have a weekly segment here on the show called Misophonia Facts, and up until now, it's made no sense that we do that, but this week, it's weirdly pertinent. So once again, for the 57th time, let's dip into Misophonia Facts, shall we? Oh, on thin ice with this gag. What is misophonia? Well, it is defined as literally a hatred of sound. It was a term that was created in 2000 to describe a condition where you feel negative emotions, thoughts, you have physical reactions when you hear certain sounds, often very quiet sounds. So it could be sounds like chewing, they're often sort of human noises, and they make you feel very irritable and angry, and this is something that Shane says he suffers from. It's basically like the absolute opposite of ASMR, whereas people, the creeps, the freaks who love ASMR, the absolute weird scumbags who love ASMR, I feel comfortable attacking the ASMR community. What are they going to do? Whisper at me? They love the sound of quiet little noises, whereas Shane, that would be quite distressing, if that is indeed the thing that triggers his misophonia. I'm going to get some angry, very timid letters from the ASMR community. The fact that I've done ASMR on this show Utterly irrelevant. No one remembers that. Fans, of course, immediately rallied behind Shane to show him support and also to speak about their own experiences with misophonia. One commenter said, "Wow, Shane, thank you for doing this. I have struggled with misophonia since I was 12 years old. It's horrible. The worst thing about it is that you feel crazy and alone because your parents, your friends, and the rest of your family think you're a psychopath. It is hard." Another person said, "I just opened Twitter and saw you speak about this. I cried so hard. My misophonia is triggered when people make an S sound when speaking. It makes me someone I'm not. It makes me hateful." So as you can see, this is something that really affects people. So Shane speaking out about it and raising awareness about it in this way is a really positive thing. This news story is far more important than the next thing we're about to talk about, which, to be clear, is Tana Mongeau's nipple. So, ups and downs on YouTuber news. But before that, due to overwhelming popular demand, people have been screaming at me down the phone, I've been getting emails, I've been getting SMS messages, my Bebo inbox is overflowing. I can't walk through Club Penguin without penguins walking up to me and asking me to do this segment. I'm gonna do it, guys, I know you will love it. It's time once again for the numbers segment of the show. Or is it the numbers segment section of the show?
I said it differently both times.
I said it differently both times because I love it that much. It's time for the numbers part. Thank you once again to viewers for tweeting me the numbers. Once again, please tweet me the numbers, not PopBuzz. They get very angry when you tweet them. At Benedict Town, if you want to tweet me some numbers. Kind of wish you wouldn't at this point. I didn't anticipate how much my mentions would just be numbers. But without much further ado, here's this week's numbers. 43, 18, 9. Someone has done the sex number there. Don't appreciate that. I'm skipping that one. 7, 5, 1,248, 2, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. Might have done that wrong. 29, 4, 7, 10,225, and 17. That's this week's numbers. This has been the numbers portion of the show. Our third story, and let me just say I'm getting rather sick of the accusations that this show isn't real news, that we don't cover things that really matter to people, that aren't important to the world and indeed the solar system. So if you could all simmer down and stop accusing me of being a fake newsman, we need to talk about how Tana put metal in her nips. Metal nip. That's right, Tana Mongeau's nipple, one of them, became a little bit more magnetic this week. Yes, Tana Mongeau has never exactly been a shy YouTuber, always pretty open about what's going on. And now, of course, she has a brand new TV show called Tana Turns 21, or to be clear, No Filter, Tana Turns 21. And on the latest episode, she got her nipple pierced. Because that's content, baby. That's honestly content. The episode begins with Tana talking to a friend about how she's going to get her nipple pierced. But then, shock, revelation, it turns out that Jake and her, coincidentally, were already having a conversation about nipple piercings a few days beforehand, and he had mentioned offhand that he thinks it's bad to get both nipples pierced and that it's better to just get one. I have a degree. Tana went along to the piercing shop with her friend Imari and watched as he got his tragus pierced. The tragus, of course, you'll know, is the little flap on the inner side of the ear. Tragus is also, of course, the name of my second son that I never really mention on this show. Tavin is my son, but I also have a son called Tragus. He is filled with hate. But then, oh, this is still going. Then she had a bit of a meltdown, crying hysterically because of her sensitive nipples. Children watch this show, but also adults watch this show. I'm letting everyone down. Okay, there's more here. None of this I can read out loud. Tana then wrapped things up by posting a picture on her Instagram of her boob with a plaster on it. I have no idea if we can show that picture on the show. If we can't, we'll show a picture of a lovable duck. Oh no, I had my nipple pierced way before this. It was a bet I did with my first wife, Shania Twain. She said, hey, regular nipples, that don't impress me much. And I said, well, what if I put metal inside them? She said, I'm leaving you, Ben. And I said, but look at my metal nipple. And she said, well, she was already gone. Next up, we've got YouTuber Watch. But before that, a quick update on the 2020 campaign. As you know, I'm running for president in 2020, as is the Rat. And this week, or next week, or whenever we can get it edited, I've got some big news for you. We will be releasing some campaign adverts on the YouTuber News YouTube channel. There'll be an advert for me, there'll be an advert for the Rat, and you can finally decide once and for all who should be president, me, not the Rat. And so you can be impartial, and you can use democracy, vote for me, and we can just keep it balanced, not the Rat, and we can pick a president. Don't vote for the goddamn Rat. Now it's time for YouTuber Watch, a popular segment where I zoom in on one YouTuber and tell you what they got up to this week. And this week, as you know, our system of doing a different YouTuber every week has slightly been failing. I've been accidentally doing Dan Howell every week for the last 400 weeks. I'm really trying to fix this system, and I thought the best way to do that would be by giving my editor a lot more work to do. So we're going to be using the name dice this week. Ooh, look at this big elaborate dice. It's going to require so much editing to put this dice in. Whoa, it's still going. Incredible. I threw it so high and so strong, and there it comes down. And there it is, and look at that, and it's also a magic 8 ball. I'll give it a shake. Try again later. No, that was pointless. Let's just do Dan Howell. Time for Dan Howell Watch. Welcome to Dan How Watch. I'm a fox, and you better believe I've got business to do. What's Dan been up to this week? Well, as you know, it is boiling all over the world thanks to the sun, which is going to kill us all. And so Dan wanted to celebrate it being sunny by going to the beach and having a nice beach holiday. Just like Nicki Minaj once said, let's all take a trip to the beach. And so he went to the beautiful beaches of Switzerland using his millions upon millions of pounds, flew there on a private jet, crashed it into a lake. I couldn't be bothered to land it, he said, so he just crashed it in a lake. He can just buy a new jet anytime he wants. He's a rich man. So he went along to the beautiful beach, and he was wearing his traditional outfit, which is of course one of those full body swimsuits with the stripes on it, like from the 1800s. And he sat down and he was ready to read his favorite book, which is of course the second book in the Spiderwick Chronicles. Only the second one. He's never finished the series, doesn't know how it ends, and God knows he doesn't know how it begins. And as he was sitting there, he saw out in the water something was moving, and suddenly all the Swiss people around him started to run around and be shocked. And they kept saying, "Le shark, le shark." But Dan, of course, does not speak Swiss, so he had no idea what they were saying. Well, speak English! Le shark, they were saying, all running away. Come on, Dan, you can figure this one out. Le shark, what could it mean? Well, shark kind of sounds like sharp. There's a TV manufacturer. Perhaps there's a TV in the water that needs rescuing. I'll go in. So he went in, and he could see this fin, this big fin, moving around. But it was a strange fin. It was very thin, shiny, almost metallic. And he got close to it, and he said, "Don't worry, little television, I will save you and your HDR goodness." And then it pulled out of the water, and it was a sword. There was a criminal, and he had a sword. I know, I'm shocked too. And he came at Dan, and he was going to kill him with the sword. But then luckily, a part of Dan's jet from earlier, which was still flinging around in the sky, landed, crushing the criminal into liquid. It was like smashing a tomato with a mallet. There was blood everywhere. Dan was covered in this man's blood. Ho, ho, ho! Just another day at the beach! Dan laughed as he wiped brains from his eyes. This has been Dan How Watch. I'm Benedict Townsend. This has been YouTuber News, which airs every week on Snapchat Discover and, of course, the YouTuber News YouTube channel. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit like. It really helps us out with the algorithms. And, of course, on both platforms, don't forget to subscribe. It's the quickest way to get brand new episodes. On YouTube, you can do that by clicking subscribe. Well done, genius. Well done, Einstein the genius. And if you're on Snapchat, you can do it by swiping up on the last snap of the story. I'll be back next week with more YouTuber News, if you could call what we covered today news. Rap-based nonsense, 2020 campaign updates. And after this episode, if Kaylee could come and see me, your homework was not nearly up to scratch. I expect more from you. So if Kaylee could wait behind after this episode, we are going to have to talk about that. We might have to get your parents in. I'll see you next week, but not if I see you first. Bye. Now we're in the YouTube end screen. Click here to see last week's episode. Click here to subscribe to the show. Recommend you do. Best way to get the show. Thanks for supporting the show. And click here for something else. And in the meantime, I'm going to attempt to name countries without using the letter B. Sweden. Botswana. That's the furthest I've ever got, but it's still not good. It's still not good.